Hello everyone, my name is Akerele Oluwashogo. I'm your Microsoft Excel and Power BI trainer at Lead Data Analytics School. Today I'll be teaching you how to use DAX in the Microsoft Power BI. What is DAX? DAX is a programming language that is used throughout the Power BI for creating calculated columns, measures, and custom tables. DAX is a programming language that is used throughout the Power BI for creating calculated columns, measures, and custom tables. It is a collection of functions, operators, and constants that can be used in a formula or expression to calculate and return one or more values. We are going to learn how to use DAX in Excel. DAX means data analytics expression. Let's look at this class project on Power BI. The question asks us that your manager wants to see a report on your latest sales figure. They have requested an executive summary of. They asked that you should use DAX to calculate the total profit for France, Germany, and Canada. They also asked us that we should use DAX to calculate the total gross sales. So we are using DAX to calculate the total profit for France, Germany, and Canada. We also need to use DAX to calculate the total gross sales. So let's move to the Power BI and see how we can use our DAX. So if you look at our Power BI now, the data has already been loaded into the Power BI. And the name of our data is called financial. That's the name of the table is called financials. So we are going to use that to calculate the profit for Canada, for Germany, and also for France. So what we need to do is to go to where we have our financial tables. I will click on these three dots. It's called more options. So that button is called more options, and I click on new measure. When you click on new measure, you have your formula bar in the Power BI. So on the formula bar, you delete what you have there and you create a name for your measure. We are going to use profit. So we are going to name our measure profit for France. Profit for France. So your space bar and you type your equal symbol. So the DAX we are going to use is called calculate. So you type your calculate, you open the calculate DAX. The first argument for it is the expression. The first argument for the calculate DAX is the expression. So I will now introduce my sum. I will introduce the sum DAX inside the calculate. I open the sum. The argument for the sum is the column name. So in Power BI, we don't make reference to a cell. We make reference to a column. We reference column. If you look at it now, it's showing us financials. The name of the workbook is called financials. That's the name of the table. The column that we are looking at from the table is the financial profit. You scroll downward a little and click on the financial profit. Just a click. And you close the bracket for the sum DAX. So once you close the bracket, you press your comma. It will take us to the next argument for the calculate, which is the filter. So I will now type my financial because I'm looking at what country, financial country. So I will type my equal symbol in a double quotation mark. I will type France in a double quotation mark like this. So let me explain the formula that I've inputted now. What I'm saying is calculate the sum of the financial profit for country, but focus on what? On France. Calculate the sum of the financial profit in a table called financial. The column is called profit, but focus on the country. Let me calculate the profit for country, which is what? France. That's what I've done. So what the DAX will do is to calculate the profit for country, but it will focus on France. So I'll press enter. So if the DAX is okay, it will show you any error. You go to your table and you see your DAX being added. You can see the DAX. So there's a column called profit for what? For France. How do you know that it's a DAX? You should have your calculator icon. So let's go and test our DAX, whether our DAX is working. So I will drag it to the report canvas. You see it. It will show us in the column chart, and I will change the cluster column to a card. So it will show that profit for France is 3.78 million. You see? So let's go and cross check our answer, whether our answer is correct. What we need to do is to drag profit column himself to the card, to the report canvas, and I will change it to a card visuals. The total profit is 16.89. I will put slicer and I will check country in a slicer. So we are going to cross check what we have done now. You can see whether our answer is correct. Okay, if I check France and let's cross check the answer, you can see it's showing us 3.78 million for France. That's what we have gotten with our DAX. So let's do for Germany. We have done for France. The same place, I'll go to my financials and click on the three dots, which is called more options. So I'll click on the new mail. So I will delete what I have there on the formula bar and type the name of my mail. I'm using profit for Germany as the mail. So my space bar equals symbol, and I will type calculate. I open the calculate DAX. The first argument for the calculate is the expression. I want the expression. I will type sum. Open the sum function, which is called DAX, and I will look for the column that I want to calculate. The name of the table is called the financial, but the column that you want to aggregate is the financial profit. So I'll click on it. I will close the bracket for the sum and I'll press a comma. It will take me to the next argument, which is the filter. So on the filter, I type the name of the workbook, which is called financial. I look for financial country because I want to sum the profit for country. But which country am I looking at? I will type my equal symbol, double quotation mark, and I will type Germany in a double quotation mark. Please, when you are doing this, don't use single quotes twice. You are going to use the word double quotation mark, the one that will give you double quotation mark at once. Double quotation mark at once. If you look at the formula again, what I've done is that I'm telling that okay, calculate the sum of the profit for country, but focus on Germany. I'll press enter. So if you look at your column now, you can see the profit for Germany is showing under your financial table. Let's go and cross check the answer. All I need to do is to drag my DAX into the report canvas. So I'll drag into the report canvas. So let's see whether the answer is the same thing. So let me drag for Germany in the report canvas. So I'll change it to a card visual. Germany 3.68. I want to confirm with this. If I pick Germany here, you can see it's showing us 3.68 million. That means our DAX is correct. Let's look at the second DAX, the third DAX, which we are going to use to calculate for Canada. So we are still answering this question. You can see the question is asking us to calculate using DAX to calculate the total profit for France, for Germany, and Canada. So we are doing for Canada now. So what we need to do, let me go back to the Power BI to answer for Canada. So instead of going through my three more options to bring out my DAX, I can go through the view selector. I click on the data view. You can see on the data view, and I click on the table tools. Under the table tools, you can also click on your new mail. Then you can bring your new mail by going through the view selector on the data view to bring out the new mail. So the name of the mail will be profit for Canada. that's the name of the mayor, profit for Canada. Your space bar, you type your equal symbol and you type your calculate. Open the calculate DAX. The first argument is the expression. You type your sum to bring out the expression and open the sum. And the argument for the sum is column name. And we are looking for the column that you want to aggregate, which is called financial profits. Just a click, close the bracket. You close the bracket. After you have closed the bracket, you press comma. It will take us to the next argument, which is the filter one for the calculate. I will now type the financial. So the column I'm looking at is the country. I will type which country am I looking at for in particular. I'll type equal symbol, double quotation mark, Canada, double quotation mark. So what I've done is I'm asking the DAX to calculate the sum of the profits for a workbook called financial, which for a country, and a country that I'm looking for is Canada. So calculate the sum of the profit for country, but focus on Canada. That was what I've just done, and I'll press my enter. I press my enter. So let me go back to my report view. This is my report view, and let me go and test the DAX. So I have for DAX for Canada, and I will drag it inside the dialog, inside the report canvas. So I change this to a card. You can see for Canada it's showing us 3.53 million. To go and confirm with our slicer, let's pick Canada. You can see we also have the same answer. We also have the same answer. So we are going to do the last question, which is asking us to use DAX. Let me go back to the question. We are still working on DAX. It says use DAX to calculate the total gross sales. Use DAX to calculate the total gross sales. We are going to use a DAX called SUMX. That's the name of the DAX we are going to use to calculate this. It's called SUMX. 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 You know, to get our gross sales will be item price multiplied by number of items sold. That's how to get our gross sales. So we are going to use a DAX called SUMX to solve this problem. So let's go and bring out our new mail. We'll go to the more option button and click on the new mail. Under the new mail, you bring out our formula bar and we'll delete what you have here, and we're going to rename it as gross sales. So let's use SUMX gross sales. SUMX gross sales. Gross sales. That's the name of the DAX. Our space bar, equal symbol, and we'll type SUMX. SUMX. We open the SUMX DAX. The first argument is the table. And what's the name of our table? Our table is called financials. So we click on that's the name of the table, financials, comma, and our expression will be financial. So we are looking at financial item price, say or sales price multiplied by number of items sold. So we click on financial sales price. You press Shift 8 to multiply. Shift 8 to multiply. Shift 8 to multiply. And look for financial again. So we are going to pick financial number of item. Financial number of item. That means financial units sold. If you look at the formula very well, so I'm saying in the table called financials, multiply the column sales price with a column called units sold on the same financial workbook. So your gross sales is sales price multiplied by the units sold. So I will press my enter. I press my enter. I press my enter. So let's go and check it. So you can see we should have a DAX called SUMX gross sales. Let's drag our gross sales in our report canvas and we should know the total gross sales. If I click on the card visuals, you can see our total gross sales is 27 million. 27 million. 27 million. So you can see our gross sales is 27 million. Let's go and cross check with our normal gross sales column that we have here. So I can drag the gross sales column directly into it and let's confirm.